Hey guys, welcome to Bowhunting Soul. Well, today I've got a beautiful bow to review here. This is the Toelke Pika. Now the Pika is their Toelke's smallest line of bows. This is a 56-inch bow. They have a 54-inch model as well. This one is a 48 at 28, but I'm actually pulling, it actually scales on my scale 45 pounds at 27 inches, which is what I'm pulling. This thing's absolutely gorgeous. Now, before I start, by the way, you'll see this kind of white outline and some schmutz on here. That's me. I put a leather side plate on there with, you know, like super glue. That's the CA, cyanoacrylate, whatever type glue. I got to get that stuff off. That's my fault. But the bow itself is absolutely beautiful. It's linen micarta is the riser. I'm not sure what the accent wood is, but the limbs are myrtle. And the craftsmanship is just beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, Toelkes are really known for their perfect grip. And you guys know that I'm always messing around with the grips on my bows, either sanding them down or building them up. Well, this one doesn't need that. I mean, it's got a perfect locator grip. It doesn't move around. It almost feels soft in the hand, which is really weird. This micarta feel is just beautiful. It doesn't twist around. I haven't shot this when it's really hot and sweaty or wet or anything like that, but it doesn't move around. Now the rest on here is just a Velcro, and I put a leather side plate on there. Leather because I was using Velcro the other day, and after shooting a while, it was wearing into the Velcro, you know, way too much. Now you guys know that I normally run a bare weather rest on most of my bows, but just like that Bowhunting slick stick that I reviewed, if you use that rest to elevate it, well, it's going to go up, but it's also going to go out, you know, it's going to go outboard. And I don't want to, you know, that just messes with tuning too much. And it's not, you know, it's not the best. So anyway, so here's how I'm shooting it. Now what I'm shooting out of this is a, believe it or not, a 650 grain arrow right now. That's what I had to tune with. These arrows back here, they're 500 spine. They don't work. They are way too weak, which really surprised me on a bow that isn't, you know, cut, you know, past center or anything like that. So this is a 400 spine gold tip with 100 grain brass, 250 grain tip. So 350 up front, total 650. It ends up being like 14 point something, almost 15 grains per pound, which is really heavy. But again, those are the arrows that I had to tune with. Maybe down the road, I don't know. These fly so good. And I like heavy, and I don't, you know, 15 yards, you know, is if I anchor up here, it's almost point on. Very little gap. So I might actually do it. I don't know. Some bird's going crazy back here, but I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, the turkeys have been clucking and yelping all morning too. Anyway, so yeah, so there's the arrow. Shoots amazingly quiet, obviously, out of this bow. Now, believe it or not, I was actually able to shoot these 500 spine with a 140 with a 245 grain total up front just yesterday when I was messing around with this, because or maybe the day before, because the string that came with this had the what do you call it, the rubber spider dealies on there, and those things weigh a whole lot more than this paracord does. So like the paracord sheath, like I do on all my bows, these are super light. The super light, these string dampeners. The rubber cat whiskers is what they were. The rubber cat whiskers weigh a whole lot more, and I think it was actually slowing down the string significantly, because when I took that extra weight off the string, I went down, or up, whichever way you want to look at it, an entire spine range. I went from being able to shoot a 500 spine to there's no way I can shoot a 500 spine. This is right now, these 500s here. That's a 125 grain tip with a 100 grain insert, and the thing comes off the boat like sideways. I mean, it's so weak. And again, the other day I was able to shoot a 145 grain tip on there, 245 total. And you know, when I changed out those cat whiskers for these, it didn't. So anyway, just something to be aware of when you're tuning, you know, tuning bows. There's, you know, the weight on the string is pretty significant. It's pretty important. You know, that's all that energy that is stored in these limbs, and you know, that's more mass that the string has to get, you know, moving along with the arrow. So the less mass on the string, the more energy can go in the arrow, which means the more stiff for the arrow that needs to be. So that's just something to keep to keep in mind. The brace height on here is 7 3/4 is what I have it set at, which is kind of the sweet spot of where Toelke recommends, I believe. And tip to tip, this thing measures about 55 inches tip to tip when it's strung up. And obviously you can see the reflex deflex design in the limb. And the craftsmanship on this is just outstanding. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bow. So I'm going to take some shots here, and then you guys can see how quiet this thing is. I've been shooting for a while, so if I have a really crappy group, that's what I'm going to blame it on. I've been shooting this thing non-stop for about 2.5 days now. So here we go. There's a target over there about 15 yards. Alright, so that first shot wasn't so great. Got a little camera shy, probably. That's my excuse. But the other three obviously are... This was 100% my fault, so nix that one. But these three here... pretty good. If I'd have been shooting this good on the actual turkey that I took a shot on this year, well, I'd actually have a turkey instead of being able to shoot at one of these things. So anyway, Toelke Pika, beautiful bow. Go check it out, Toelke Bows. It's I believe it's montanalongbows.com or something like that. It's the website. Dan and Jared Toelke, I believe they're their father and son. So they put out amazing stuff. They have a great following. There's rabid, raving fans of Toelke bows. So go ahead and check them out. I'm gonna keep tuning on this thing. I might end up using a longer 400 spine arrow and kind of take some tip weight off. I don't know. I might see how I like shooting these like really heavy arrows. Again, this thing weighs at like 650 grain, and if I use my the tough head broadheads that that I really am liking, that's going to bring it up another 15 grains. It'll be like 675 grain, 665 grain, 670, something like that, all up weight, which is, pretty significant for a 45-pound bow, but it's going to hit with a wallop when it does. So anyway, initial review, I'm going to keep tuning on that bow. And if you guys shoot a Toelke, or I'm really curious to see what your setups are, especially with the Pika. I'm really curious what your setups are, and if you do anything different, or your bow setup, arrow setup, that kind of stuff. So that'd be great. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your guys' support. And if you just watch the videos and you don't know, I also have a podcast. So again, Bowhunting Soul podcast. I do everything from reviews like this to talking about tuning to having guests on and things like that. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. And with that said, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are practicing heading into summer over here. And well, I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.